Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is VC Pramod with the evening news. The headlines. India achieves another milestone in COVID-19 vaccination drive as total coverage crosses 75 crore mark. Recovery rate reaches 97.54%. Bhupendra Patel sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of Raja Mahindra Pratap Singh State University in Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Centre says minimum support price approved for designated Rabi crops for 2022-23 is higher or equal to 1.5 times of cost of production. Government to start Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana covering 36,000 villages across the country. Tamil Nadu Assembly passes bill for admission in medicine without NEET. IMD predicts heavy to very heavy rainfall in Odisha, Maharashtra and other parts of the country. And in US Open tennis, Daniel Medvedev shatters Novak Djokovic's dream for the year slam with a straight set win. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. India has crossed yet another milestone in the COVID vaccination drive with the total vaccination crossing the 75 crore mark today. The cumulative figure stands at 75 crore 10 lakh 41,391. The Health Ministry said more than 56 crore 95 lakh vaccine doses have been administered as first dose and over 18 crore 14 lakh vaccine doses given as the second dose. The ministry said that till 5:30 p.m. today, more than 67 lakh vaccine doses have been administered to the beneficiaries. It further added that the national recovery rate has reached 97.54%. On this achievement, the Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia said that with the mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Prayas, the world's largest vaccination drive is continuously creating new dimensions. He said in the 75th year of independence, the country has crossed the 75 crore mark in COVID vaccination coverage. On this landmark achievement, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur congratulated the people of the country and said that it is a remarkable milestone of 75 crore COVID vaccinations as India marks its 75th year of independence. He said vaccination plays a vital role in the country's fight against COVID-19. Mr. Thakur said many political parties tried to spread rumours about the efficacy of the 2 indigenous vaccines, but the people of the country are aware about it and came forward to get themselves vaccinated. Mr. Thakur appealed to the people to come out in large numbers for vaccination.
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जहां भारत के वैज्ञानिकों ने भारत में ही टीका निर्माण करने का काम शुरू किया, वहीं पर जन जन को मुफ्त में टीका मिले, इसके लिए भारत सरकार ने पैसों का प्रावधान भी किया। मैं बधाई देता हूं टीका लगाने वालों को भी और लगवाने वालों को भी। 75 करोड़ टीकाकरण होना अपने आप में एक बड़ी उपलब्धि है। लोगों में एक दुष्प्रचार भी किया गया, लेकिन जनता जागरूक होकर आगे बढ़कर आई। मैं जनता से अभी भी आग्रह करता हूं कि ज्यादा बढ़ चढ़कर आगे आएं, टीकाकरण करवाएं।
Regional Director WHO Southeast Asia Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh said World Health Organization has congratulated India for scaling up COVID-19 vaccination at an unprecedented pace. In a tweet, she said, while it took 85 days to administer first 100 million doses, India reached 750 million doses from 650 million in just 13 days. India began administration of COVID-19 vaccines on the 16th of January 2021. As on the 11th of September 2021, India has administered over 743 million doses overall, including first and second doses of the currently approved vaccines. In our program Spotlight, the News Services Division of All India Radio will bring a special program on India's landmark achievement of 75 crore vaccine doses. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsoneir.com and on our YouTube channel News on EIR Official.
The Supreme Court today asked the Centre to revisit its decision of not including death by suicide as COVID-19 death even if COVID-19 is an accompanying condition. A bench comprising Justices M.R. Shah and A.S. Bhupendra was considering the fresh guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare to simplify the process of issuance of death certificates. As per the said guidelines, deaths occurring due to poisoning, suicide, homicide and deaths due to accident, among others, will not be considered as COVID-19 deaths, even if COVID-19 is an accompanying condition. These guidelines were placed on record before the Supreme Court through a compliance affidavit filed on the 11th of this month. The bench has also asked the Centre to look into the certificates that have been issued already and the remedy that would be available to the family members in case they have disputes with regards to the cause of death. The top court has also asked the government to apprise the court about the compliance with respect to the guidelines that are to be issued by the National Disaster Management Authority for determination of compensation. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta assured that the guidelines for determination of compensation would be in place before the next date of hearing, which is the 23rd of this month. The bench was hearing a contempt petition filed seeking compliance of the 30th of June judgment which directed framing of guidelines for the grant of compensation for people who died due to COVID and issuance of death certificates for them.
BJP MLA from Ghatlodiya seat, Mr. Bhupendra Patel, has been sworn in as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. Governor Acharya Devvrat administered the oath of office to him at the Raj Bhavan today. Senior BJP leaders, including Home and Cooperative Minister Amit Shah, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant, Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Khattar, among others, were on stage during the oath-taking ceremony. AIR Ahmedabad correspondent reports that soon after taking the oath as the 17th Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Patel later went to the Chief Minister's office and took the charge.
माननीय नरेंद्र भाई, माननीय नड्डा जी और अमित भाई शाह साहब का तहे दिल से आभार मानना चाहता हूं और गुजरात प्रदेश के सभी वरिष्ठ नेता की टीम का मैं तहे दिल से धन्यवाद मानता हूं। मेरे पर जो विश्वास रखा है वो विश्वास को बिना टूटे हुए विकास के जो काम बाकी है वो आगे बढ़ाएंगे और संगठन को साथ में लेके आगे बढ़ाएंगे।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Bhupendra Patel on taking oath as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said that he has known him for years and have seen his exemplary work, be it in the BJP organization or in civic administration and community service. He said Mr. Patel will certainly enrich Gujarat's growth trajectory. The Prime Minister also praised Vijay Rupani and said that during his 5 years as the Chief Minister of the state, Mr. Rupani has undertaken many people-friendly measures and worked tirelessly for all sections of society. Mr. Modi said he is certain that Mr. Rupani will continue to contribute to public service in the times to come.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of Raja Mahindra Pratap Singh State University in Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. The university is being established by the state government in the memory and honour of the great freedom fighter, educationist and social reformer Raja Mahindra Pratap Singh. The university is being set up in a total area of over 92 acres. It will provide affiliation to 395 colleges of the Aligarh division. The Prime Minister will also visit the exhibition models of Aligarh node of Uttar Pradesh Defence Industrial Corridor and Raja Mahindra Pratap Singh State University. A total of 6 nodes, Aligarh, Agra, Kanpur, Chitrakoot, Jhansi and Lucknow, have been planned in the Defence Industrial Corridor. In the Aligarh node, land allocation process has been completed and land has been allotted to 19 firms who will invest 1,245 crore rupees in this node. The corridor in Uttar Pradesh will help in making the country self-reliant in the field of defence production and promoting Make in India. The government has said that the minimum support price MSP approved for designated Rabi crops for 2022-23 during Rabi marketing season is higher or equal to 1.5 times of cost of production. Addressing media in New Delhi, Agriculture Secretary Sanjay Agarwal said that the expected returns to farmers over their cost of production is estimated to be the highest in case of wheat and mustard. He said return is 100% in these two crops, while in case of lentil it is 79% and for gram the expected return is 74%. Mr. Agarwal said on the 8th of September, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs CCEA approved the increase in the MSP for all designated Rabi crops for Rabi marketing season RMS 2022-23. He added that normally MSP for Rabi season was announced in October, but since last year it was announced on the 23rd of September, and for the year 2022-23 it was further advanced and announced on the 8th of September this year so that the farmers can get the benefit.
Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda has said that his ministry would start Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana covering 36,000 villages across the country. Talking to newspersons in Guwahati, Mr. Munda said those villages with 50% tribal population would be given priority under it. The minister said 1,700 tribal villages in Assam will be converted into model villages. The minister said another 184 new One Dhan Kendras will be set up in the state that would benefit nearly 60,000 people. He added that his ministry is working for the empowerment of the tribal people of the country. On the granting of ST status to 6 communities in Assam, Mr. Munda said the matter is under process and the centre is holding consultation in a positive way with various stakeholders. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today said online classes cannot go on forever. Virtual classes cannot become actuals. He was addressing at the inaugural function of Puducherry Technological University by upgrading the Pondicherry Engineering College. The Vice President said the education sector has been amongst the most affected by the pandemic, with the teaching and learning process significantly disrupted. He added, but the worst seems to be over, with the world's largest free vaccination program underway across the country. He also urged institutions like Puducherry Technological University to infuse a spirit of innovation, entrepreneurship and experimentation among the students. Mr. Naidu, who is on a 2-day visit to Puducherry, later inaugurated the solar power plant with a 2.4 megawatt capacity set up at Pondicherry University. He said the solar energy has shown great promise in recent years.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India achieves another milestone in COVID-19 vaccination drive as total coverage crosses 75 crore mark. Recovery rate reaches 97.54%. Bhupendra Patel sworn in as new Chief Minister of Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of Raja Mahindra Pratap Singh State University in Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Centre says minimum support price approved for designated Rabi crops for 2022-23 is higher or equal to 1.5 times of cost of production. Government to start Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana covering 36,000 villages across the country. Tamil Nadu Assembly passes bill for admission in medicine without NEET. IMD predicts heavy to very heavy rainfall in Odisha, Maharashtra and other parts of the country. And in US Open tennis, Daniel Medvedev shatters Novak Djokovic's dream for year slam with a straight set win. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
भारत के स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में अनगिनत स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने अपने प्राणों की आहुति दी। कुछ इतिहास में अमर हो गए और कई गुमनाम। आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत 75 कड़ियों की श्रृंखला में हम उन वीरांगनाओं की बात करेंगे जिनका योगदान कभी भुलाया नहीं जा सकता। प्रत्येक मंगलवार परिक्रमा में सुनिए अपराजिता, देश की वीरांगनाओं को आकाशवाणी का सादर नमन।
Welcome back to the evening news on All India Radio. The Tamil Nadu Assembly has passed a legislation to enable admission to undergraduate course in medicine on the basis of marks obtained in the +2 examination. The legislation was welcomed by all the parties except for the Bharatiya Janata Party. BJP leader of the House, Narendra, said the NEET exam was brought by the centre to improve the quality of medical education throughout the country. He opposed the bill and led the walkout of his party MLAs from the assembly. More from our Chennai correspondent.
The state government said that the legislation was based on the recommendations of the high-level expert committee headed by former Judge A.K. Rajan. The committee had strongly recommended eliminating NEET using legal and legislative procedures. Moving the bill, Chief Minister Stalin said that the legislation would ensure social justice, uphold equality and equal opportunity and protect vulnerable student communities. He said that this would remove discrimination and bring all the students into the mainstream of medical and dental education. The Chief Minister also said that the exam inflicts indirect pressure on the minds of the students hailing from poor backgrounds. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
In West Bengal, BJP has announced to run a special campaign to commemorate Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 71st birthday and his 2 decades of public service. State President of BJP, Dilip Ghosh, today announced in Kolkata that a series of welfare activities including blood donation camps and health camps in each district will be arranged as a part of the campaign from 17th September to 7th of October. Exhibitions will be organized at district levels along with the Seva and Samarpan campaign. A virtual exhibition on his life and works will be held through the Namo app. The party members will also pledge to make our environment plastic-free. Mr. Ghosh said 49 oxygen plants will be set up in the state from the PM CARE Fund.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav visited the Riyasi district of Jammu division today and reviewed various rail projects including Katra-Banihal rail project. The Union Minister also honoured the Para-Olympian archer Rakesh Kumar from Riyasi. The Minister reviewed the facilities being provided to the passengers at Katra railway station and took stock of Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla rail project in a meeting with railway officials at Katra before leaving for Jammu railway station. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the demise of Rajya Sabha MP Oscar Fernandes. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said that in this sad hour, his thoughts and prayers are with the family and well-wishers of Oscar Fernandes.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Janotsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news since 16th of August and will continue till 15th August 2022. Listeners can send their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 882-654-6262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasadbharati.gov.in. One lucky participant will be selected as a winner and will be awarded an e-certificate and a token prize. An exhibition of law-related books was inaugurated today at the campus of Allahabad High Court in the series of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. A 2-day exhibition is being organized by the Law and Justice Department of Government of India.
Let's now listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
सर्व खर्व तारे गाहे तब क्रोध दाहु हे भैरव शक्ति दाओ भक्त पाने चाहु सर्व खर्व तारे गाहे.
Today we bring you the story of a hero from Bengal. It was on this day in 1929 this great son of India, Jatindra Nath Das, made the supreme sacrifice for the freedom of the country at a young age of 25 years. Fondly called Jatin Das, he challenged the might of the British in his own unique way. Jatin Das was born on 27th October 1904 at Calcutta.
The devoted freedom fighter joined the Anushilan Samiti in Bengal at a young age. Later on, he teamed up with Bhagat Singh and his comrades in the Hindustan Socialist Republic Association. Jatin Das also participated in the non-cooperation movement when he was 17 years old. He was a brilliant student but chose to dedicate his life to the freedom movement.
The revolutionary freedom fighter could not see his jailed countrymen subjected to deplorable conditions by the British. Determined to seek better treatment of the Indian prisoners, he went on to a 63-day-long hunger strike in Lahore jail, which ultimately cost his own life. His sacrifice had the desired impact in terms of the jail authorities agreeing to improve conditions for political prisoners. He was arrested by the British on June 14, 1929, in connection with the Lahore conspiracy case, which relates to the killing of the British police officer John Saunders by the revolutionaries.
Jatin Das suffered numerous hardships during his hunger strike. He was brutally beaten up, and efforts to force-feed him damaged his lungs. After his death, his body was taken to Bengal. In Calcutta, Subhash Chandra Bose received his coffin at the Howrah railway station. Over 7 lakh people attended Jatin Das's funeral procession in the city. Subhash Chandra Bose called him the young Dadichi of the nation, the ancient Indian sage who also sacrificed his life for noble cause.
It was on this day in 1948 the Operation Polo was launched by the Indian Army to integrate the Hyderabad state into the territory of India. By 1948, most of the princely states had acceded to India, but the state of Hyderabad had chosen to join neither Pakistan nor India. The then Indian Home Minister, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, requested the Nizam to join India, but he refused. The Nizam initially approached the British government with the proposal to designate Hyderabad as a constitutional monarchy within the Commonwealth of Nations. The proposal was rejected by the last Viceroy of India, Lord Louis Mountbatten.
For many years, the Nizam was facing popular resistance led by the Arya Samaj, the State People's Congress, under the leadership of Swami Ramanand Tirth, demanding the integration of Hyderabad with India. Under the Nizam, an exploitative agricultural structure had come to be established in Hyderabad. 40% of the land was either directly owned by the Nizam or given by him to the elites in the form of jagirs, special tenures. By the 1940, a movement of resistance was taking shape among the peasants against the Nizam and his policies, and it reached its zenith by 1946.
On September 13, 1948, Indian forces entered the state at 4 a.m. under the Operation Polo. At 5 p.m. on 17 September 1948, the Nizam announced a ceasefire. Subsequently, he signed an instrument of accession joining India. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in next episode tomorrow.
At the domestic stock markets, both the key indices, the Sensex and the Nifty ended with marginal losses today, and the rupee weakened slightly against the dollar. A report from the Business World.
At the stock markets, the Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange fell 127 points or 0.2% to end at 56,178 today. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange shed 14 points to 17,355. Gold rose 82 rupees to 45,952 rupees per 10 grams in Delhi. At the Forex market, the rupee depreciated 17 paise to 73 rupees and 67 paise against the dollar. And in the international market, Brent crude rose 62 cents to trade at $73.54 a barrel. Lalema Aneja Dang for AIR News.
Daniil Medvedev of Russia lifted his first Grand Slam trophy after beating Novak Djokovic 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 in the US Open men's singles final at the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York last night.
The depression formed over the Bay of Bengal crossed the North Odisha coast early this morning. Due to its impact, several parts of Odisha have been experiencing incessant rainfall since the last 24 hours. The Meteorological Department has alerted at least 5 western and interior Odisha districts of heavy to very heavy rainfall today. The IMD has also predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall for the next 3 days in Mumbai, Thane, Palghar and several other parts of Maharashtra. The Met Office has issued a yellow alert for Mumbai with a forecast of heavy rain at isolated places of the city for the next 2 days. Talking to All India Radio, senior weather scientist R.K. Jinamani has given details about the rain forecast for several parts of the country. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The temperature will vary between 27 and 35 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 30. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Temperature will vary between 27 and 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. City will observe a minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 32 degrees. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 14 and 28 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh is expected to have mainly clear sky. Maximum and minimum temperature will be between 26 to 9 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 15 and 36 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 22 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 36 degrees. Hyderabad to have rain or thunder showers towards evening or night. Minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 29 degrees. Visakhapatnam will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Bengaluru will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Thiruvananthapuram will have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. In Puducherry, generally cloudy sky will prevail. Guwahati will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Imphal will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Aizawl will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kohima will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Shillong will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. And Gangtok will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India achieves another milestone in COVID-19 vaccination drive as total coverage crosses 75 crore mark. Recovery rate reaches 97.54%. Bhupendra Patel sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of Raja Mahindra Pratap Singh State University in Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Centre says minimum support price approved for designated rabi crops for 2022-23 is higher or equal to 1.5 times of cost of production. Government to start Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana covering 36,000 villages across the country. Tamil Nadu Assembly passes bill for admission in medicine without NEET. IMD predicts heavy to very heavy rainfall in Odisha, Maharashtra and other parts of the country. And in US Open tennis, Daniil Medvedev shatters Novak Djokovic's dream for Year Slam with a straight set win. Log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.